No one in ancient Kemet truly believed that Anpu, or who the Greeks call Anubis, who has the canine head or a dog head, would actually come back in human form but with a dog head to help mummify the body, sahu the body, to help prepare the body for the afterlife, as well as to help him cross. These are all allegories to demonstrate something that is ahistorical, because none of us can draw from the afterlife and bring it into historical context, because number one, it's the afterlife. So the point is, what the people of ancient Kemet are doing to the greatest ability possible is trying to get you to crystallize and understand the African conception of what is believed on the continent will occur to those who don't follow a moral code which Africans believe the universe has its foundation upon. African thought teaches that the universe is founded upon morals and ethics. What European says that? Europeans teach that the universe has no explanation whatsoever. In other words, for a European, the universe has no meaning. The universe is not endowed with purpose. Not for the African mind. For the African mind, the universe is heavenly endowed with purpose and meaning and spiritual content. And we believe, even in the Torah, we say that the Torah itself is the foundation of the universe. There's a verse in Proverbs chapter 10:25, which says in Hebrew, Zadik Yesod Olam, which means righteousness is the foundation of the universe. When you open up the Sabiat text, you see in ancient Kemet, you see that Ma'at is with Ptah at the inception of the universe, so that from the ancient Kemetic viewpoint, Ma'at, or a divine moral and ethic code, is at the foundation of the universe itself. And if this moral code is not upheld by all things in existence, not just man, but all things in existence, then the universe reverts back to what is called in ancient Kemetic conception, Isfet, where the Torah speaks of Tohu Webohu, which is chaos, disorder. Ma'at represents order in its righteous perspective, and the Torah represents order in its righteous perspective, and something called Tohu Webohu, which is chaos and voidness, represents disorder. So these two ancient systems are speaking of the same thing. And more importantly, these two systems are a mirror for that which is spoken of on the continent in Africa. So for any black man to get up and start talking about, I'm allowed to freely choose what system I want to worship in Africa, you're absolutely right. But guess what you're not allowed to do? To teach young black children that Africans had no spirituality, Brother Ankh. You're not allowed to do that. While you have every right to choose whatever you want to do in this world, you have no right to tell African children, young girls and young boys, that Africans never had a spiritual system. And if they did, it's wrong and pseudo. Because I'm going to speak for the ancestors right now and tell you that you're the biggest pseudo in the community, if in fact you're going to say that, because you can't find me a goddamn text in all of ancient Africa where atheism is being promoted. No African culture, no African civilization put anything higher than what we would call a divine order to the universe. No African system. All of us are replete on the idea that the universe is divine in nature, and that divinity dwells within us all, and that there is no facet of creation that is not permeated with an aspect of divinity. And this goes back again to the idea of people not truly understanding that until you see that divinity dwells within you, you will always be helpless and defenseless in the face of those who are coming at your neck, in the face of those who are coming to rape and pillage you spiritually, physically, intellectually. We become the intellectual, spiritual, and physical property of Europeans when we take on their intellectual and spiritual garb and we discard our African content. How dare we do that? So I respect Brother Ankaket, but I want to say stick to the goddamn research, because you don't represent a practitioner of African systems. Because any practitioner of African systems knows that Africa birthed spirituality, knows and perfectly understands that spirituality, no matter where you find it in the world, has its inception on the continent. And don't you dare get on any platform, including yours, because we're going to soon shut that shit down too and start telling African children that we don't have a God, that we don't have a concept of divinity. Because guess what? Yes, we do. And I dare you to challenge people who are practitioners on the topic.
I think that'd be a good one. Will you take Unc one-on-one on the big stage?
I don't think Unc crazy enough to debate me. I think that Unc would probably want to draw for what's left of the Amara squad, but they done offended people like Sanjeti. They done came at people like Asar Imhotep so much over the silly nonsense that they're doing that I'm not sure how much help they have left. But I want to say that, of course, I would love to debate anyone for that. I remember I wanted to have this debate with Brother Polite, but I'll debate anyone for that nature on the topic of, is God real? Does a God exist?
That's what Jabari wants.
You know?
Want to take on that topic.
Well, I would.
Will be the perfect one because he's
the one that believes in that. But remember, Brother Polite stood on that one time as well. And Brother Polite has a little twist behind that story. Right. Because I don't believe he's all the way with Ankakek about the idea that there is no concept of divinity. Ankakek is just straight European with that, but that's okay. You know, I pray that the brother someday will wake up and mature when it comes to African spirituality. Because at this point, he's immature.
Okay, let me call him and we're gonna do it live right here. Let's see if he would like to challenge you on that.
Let's do that.
Let's see what he would say. So let me ask you now. I have Zion in front of me, and I asked Zion Lex, will you debate Unc one-on-one? And guess what the topic is, Unc? And you might want to jump to that. Go ahead. Put it to there. Hold this. Talk to him. Put the mic to that.
Hey, so peace, brother.
Right on the bottom. Yeah,
right here?
What's up, man?
How you doing, man? So first and foremost, I think that it would be a great topic to discuss or debate whether or not there is a God, whether or not a God or I hate using the term God, by the way, but a divinity, whether or not a divinity exists.
Okay. That'd be a good topic for me.
See, I told you.
Yeah, that'd be an excellent topic.
Right there. That's the fun right there.
And we could actually travel to Atlanta to make that happen too, if you guys, but I mean, it's really on the arrangements that we agreed to, but I think that it would be a very powerful.
I want to say that for the big stage where y'all can have y'all slides. And
or we would have to, because if we just sit down or do it from a computer, it won't do any real justice. But I'm very interested in that topic. I think that of all the people in the community that speak about, I want to say atheism, I think you probably do the best job. So I think it would be a topic that we could entertain. What you think about that?
Yeah, I'm with you, especially with you, because you're my man, yo.
All right.
All
right.
And we ain't going to have no problems.
Nah, we're not going to have no problems.
We're going to be laughing.
Yeah, you damn right. You damn right.
Yeah.
Sarnetta said, what about the end of April?
March, April. Yeah, what are you going to do with that, yo?
He said, but where would you want to do that?
Well, same place.
Right at
the college.
Okay.
At the college in Brooklyn at St. Francis.
St. Francis College, Brooklyn, New York.
Where we having this debate at with Jabari.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
That'll be dope. Let's do it. Let's do it.
That'll be good, yo.
All right, there you go.
Let's do it.
So
peace and salute to you, brother. I look forward to having that conversation with you. Continue doing your work. I'm watching, I'm critiquing, and I'm taking notes.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Tell son let us stop saying I'm banging on Apple. I'm just banging on the
So stop banging on my teacher then, man.
I can get that. I ain't mad at you for that at all, yo. That's the truth, though. I ain't mad at that.
Well, you know I gotta defend him, brother. Everybody, all of y'all banging on him. I gotta stand up and defend him too, man. Y'all can't be all ganging up on him.
Yeah, but he got the whole squad on the side, so what more do you need? Everybody banging on that. See.
Hey, and do me a favor, man. Sanjeti been with you from the beginning. Sanjeti ain't say nothing wrong. Did you hear Sanjeti's response when I asked him? He showed you love and respect, brother.
He said I was hurt by religion. He's a lying ass nigga. He made that shit up. Tell the truth. You ain't hurt by no damn religion.
Oh man. But anyway, don't bang on Sanjeti, man. That's your brother. He's one of your original members, bro.
Yeah, but he's supposed to king and say he's supposed to say what Assad said. I do not do the shit we banging on Jabari, my teacher. He's wrong for that. He could have said all of that. and left it alone. Assad did it. Assad said, no, I just want to be in on that issue, but we're not bringing on Africa. Assad told the truth. Don't add nothing. Then got the people thinking something might have happened to me when I was being white. You know, they get out of here.
Sometimes you got to be the bigger man and let it go, though. Don't bang on Sinjetti, man. He's up in there with his crew, man. That's all.
Crazy with those short order cook hats on, looking crazy. It's all good.
All right, brother. Talk to you later, man. Peace. I be getting them.
And he's still talking about Baba Haru hat, which some people would think is very disrespectful.
That's very disrespectful, man.
I wanted to say something about Baba Haru, man.